Jack Harlan pulled up to his secluded cabin in the quiet hills of Willow Creek, the gravel crunching under his tires like a warning of the storm ahead. He'd inherited the place from his late uncle, a patch of land that felt like freedom after years in the city grind. But as he stepped out, a sharp voice cut through the evening air. "You're in violation." Evelyn Thorpe, the iron-fisted president of the local homeowners association, marched over from her pristine SUV, clipboard in hand like a weapon. Evelyn's eyes narrowed as she jabbed a finger at Jack's truck, parked right on his own driveway. "That vehicle's blocking the easement. HOA rules are Clurno overnight parking without approval." Jack blinked, incredulous. This was his property, bought and paid for, far from the cookie-cutter suburb where the HOA held sway. "Ma'am, this is my land. I don't answer to your association." He mentioned the security cameras he'd just installed around the cabin, a precaution after some recent break-ins in the area. Evelyn's face twisted in disdain. "We'll see about that," she snarled, storming off with a promise of consequences. That night, under a moonless sky, the rumble of a tow truck shattered the silence. Jack bolted awake, peering out to see the driver hooking up his truck. Rage surged through him. This wasn't just harassment, it was theft. Grabbing his unloaded shotgun from the safe, he stormed outside, the weapon pointed skyward as a stark warning. "Back off my property now, or we'll have problems." The driver froze, hands up, and quickly unhooked before speeding away. Evelyn watched from the shadows across the road, her phone glowing as she dialed frantically. By morning, Jack was at the sheriff's office, filing a report with Deputy Liam Fletcher for attempted vehicle theft. He handed over crisp footage from his cameras, showing the tow truck's midnight raid. "This is outrageous," Deputy Fletcher muttered, shaking his head. "We'll look into it." But Evelyn wasn't done. Days later, attorney Reginald Voss, the HOA's slick lawyer, showed up at Jack's door with a stack of documents. "Your cabin encroaches on community land," Voss claimed, waving a supposed survey. "The property lines were redrawn years ago. You'll need to relocate or face liens." Jack laughed bitterly, pulling out his own certified survey from the county. "This is bogus. The sheriff's been out here before me. Lines are solid." Voss pressed on, threatening lawsuits that could bankrupt him, but Jack stood firm, slamming the door. The harassment escalated when Jack noticed the padlock on his cabin's crawl space had been swapped out. Who had trespassed? He called Deputy Fletcher again, his voice edged with fury. Together, they pried off the lock and crawled under the cabin. What they found chilled Jack to the bone. Hidden cameras, wires snaking through the dirt, pointed right at his living spaces. "These aren't mine," Jack whispered. Tracing the serial numbers, they linked back to the HOA's account. Jack's mind raced. Evelyn had to be behind this, spying on him like some paranoid dictator. Digging deeper, he pored over the HOA's charter online and uncovered unapproved boundary changes, shady adjustments that favored a few insiders. Word spread, and Sheriff Brody Kane stepped in, securing a warrant. The camera's purchase records pointed straight to Evelyn's doorstep, shipped via the HOA's credit card. The local papers splashed the story. HOA scandal rocks Willow Creek surveillance and theft allegations. Jack decided to lay low, leaving the cabin empty to bait any further intruders. It worked. Soon, Assistant District Attorney Sophia Reyes called him. "This goes beyond your property, Mr. Harlan. We're investigating widespread fraud." Reyes revealed a web of corruption, fake invoices for maintenance that funneled thousands into personal pockets, embezzlement tied to Evelyn's circle, and a scheme to seize undervalued lots like Jack's for a luxury development. Jack's heart pounded as he spotted altered maps and public records, showing plans to bulldoze his cabin for a private golf course. The audacity fueled his anger. How many others had been bullied into silence? With his attorney, Derek Lang, Jack compiled dossiers of evidence, emails, receipts, witness statements. They filed formal complaints, igniting a firestorm. The arrest came swiftly. Evelyn was hauled away in cuffs during a routine HOA meeting, memos from her office exposing a plot to absorb non-compliant properties through fabricated fees and legal pressure. The community erupted in debate. Some defended the HOA as necessary for order, arguing Jack's shotgun stunt crossed a line into vigilantism, while others hailed him as a hero against overreach. "He's got rights," one neighbor shouted at a special meeting. "But waving a gun, That's reckless. The room buzzed with heated arguments, fists pounding tables as old grudges surfaced. Neighbors, once divided, banded together for a symbolic cleanup, repainting over HOA signs that screamed control. An independent audit unearthed the rot: $70,000 in misappropriated funds, ghost fees siphoned to offshore accounts, rerouted payments for personal luxuries. Felony theft and money laundering charges piled on, turning Evelyn's empire to dust. Jack, amid the chaos, was nominated to the HOA board. At first, he balked. Why join the beast? But transparency called. He accepted, vowing reforms. The final blow came from Evelyn's own husband, Gerald, who slipped Jack hidden bank statements linking the fraud to speculative land deals with shady developers. New charges flew: conspiracy, racketeering. The board overhauled its self-mandatory open meetings, slashed powers, audits every quarter. Willow Creek began to heal, laughter echoing at community barbecues where stories of the scandal sparked endless debates. Was the HOA a guardian or a tyrant? Did Jack's defiance inspire justice or chaos? In the end, Jack sat on his cabin porch, the hills whispering peace. His victory wasn't just personal. It exposed how power unchecked breeds monsters. Yet whispers lingered: had he gone too far with that shotgun? The town remained split, a testament to the fine line between rights and recklessness.